Good morning. Good morning at home. Welcome. There is a link to the playlist in the chat. Good news. I have started working on a new playlist, which is fun, but it takes a long time, so no promises on when that will be released. But in the meantime, I'm just tired of the one we've been doing. Also, I found my iTunes. So I'm gonna try to replicate some of my older playlists in my Spotify. Sooner than later. Although I'm really curious about Wordle. I haven't done it yet, but that might slow me down if and when anyone, Wordle? Yeah, worth it?
But it's quick. It's just like a quick hit.
Okay. Okay, how many? Okay, I'm totally doing it. Trevor Noah keeps talking about it. My one true love. No, one of my true loves, I should say. And then Alex texted me late last night if I tried Wordle. Okay, I'm looking for this playlist. So welcome. If you have any requests at home, please put those in the chat. Hey Trina, how's Miami? Where's fall? Is this it? Okay. Hi Ira, good morning Sandra. Any requests, put those in the chat. The focus is going to be standing in and on and from the heart. We're officially in the year of the tiger, which most of you know I'm very excited about. And going into the year, I was thinking a lot about this theme of soft and strong. That's the kind of spirit and character of the tiger, as well as confidence and the capacity to adeptly face and overcome challenges and adversity. Night vision, the ability to see in the dark, to be stealthy. I went down more rabbit holes. Oh, next year we're gonna do rabbit holes. Year of the rabbit follows the year of the tiger. I love a good rabbit hole. Anyway, but back to the present. And just thinking about how I'm so glad we didn't put soft and strong on any merchandise, because I realized in the middle of a practice with some of you that soft and strong is the slogan for like my favorite toilet paper and paper towel brands. And how like a good toilet paper and paper towel has the capacity to absorb and clean up messes. And I think that is definitely a theme of the year. That's the Bluetooth sound. Just so if you ever hear that sound and are wondering, it's the Bluetooth connecting and disconnecting. I apologize, it's like beyond me. And on my way here, I was thinking a lot about this aspect of courage and how the path of yoga is a practice and a path. And once you get on the path, it's like your practices have to do with your progress on the path. And it's like, in my mind, and I've heard it defined this way, it is the path of the engaged heart. We're connected, we're disconnected, this is life. And how the practices are one of engaging the heart always more deeply and always more fully. And that the word courage itself means to engage your heart. It comes from the French root word cœur, which is the French for heart, and the suffix age, which means to engage. So for example, mortgage is to engage unto death. Anyone have that? Householders. And courage is to engage the heart, to engage love. And on my way here, I was thinking about how in the yoga tradition that we're rooted in, Rajanaka Tantra, we recognize that love has both conditional and unconditional. And I was like just feeling in my heart, I'm doing this weekend with Michelle Cassandra Johnson, like my favorite living yoga teacher. And she talks a lot about like the broken heart. And I feel like, just when I feel it, I feel like there's this sense that the heart center, slightly to the right of the physical heart, like this is this like vulnerable part, this part that can and does get broken. And when it's broken, like it's broken open, it gets bigger with each break. And, you know, if we let it. And then there's this sort of often overlooked other aspects and facets of the heart, like the back of the heart, the bottom of the heart, where there's more this like unconditional, eternal side of the self, if you will. Like that this is the conditional, and there's no need to like delete this or reject it or deny it or ignore it, for this is where we establish intimacy, and intimacy is what like continues the creation of like life and legacy and narrative. Like it's all where all like the good dramatic stuff is. And then like deeper and beneath that, the unconditional. And that when we are deeply engaged to the depth of the heart, then this aspect is inspiring and informing the conditions of our lives and our relationships. So I really want to embody this over the next couple of weeks. Like, how do we get deeper into the back of the heart, to the bottom of the heart? And I just want to add one more piece, and I realize this is like a longer maybe centering than usual. This is the Lord of the cosmic dance, Shiva, as Shiva Nataraj. He's in an ecstatic state here of, he's possessed by love and rage and dance and bliss. And it looks like a static shot, but really it's just like, you know, have you ever like back, maybe now or back in the day, like gone dancing and like someone puts their like camera up and like takes a shot of the dance floor, and you look back and you're like, oh, that was a fun night, but like, okay, now it's been a while. Remember those days? Anyway, it's a dance, and this is just like a snapshot. And it's a long story. I'm going to tell it in a spring immersion, but there's two unlikely friends that come together in order to inspire and invoke Shiva to do this dance. And there's one that sits where, like on this side where Mary Kate is sitting, and he's known as Patanjali, and he's the progenitor of the Yoga Sutras. So, little backstory, like one of the most popular texts in Western yoga is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. It's like the how-to guide, like how to practice and like get to nirvana. And on this side where Eric is sitting, sits Vyagrapada, tiger pause. And tiger pause is, oh gosh, I want to tell the whole story, but I know we want to move. Tiger Paws is a forest dweller. He lives in and of the forest, and it's a metaphor for how we live in and of the world. Patanjali comes from heaven because he wants to see the dance. Again, a longer story. And then after he sees the dance, he needs to get back to heaven, which is why he needs the how to get to nirvana. And this is popular here. Oh, just because like it's not dissimilar from a fall from grace, and like what's popular in our hundreds of years of religion here is like getting to heaven. It's like a familiar story, right? Where Eric sits, Vyagrapada, rawr, tiger paws, he's of the forest. Like he's not trying to get to heaven. He stands for the voice of the heart, the deep voice of the forest, the deep voice of the heart. And he earns his tiger paws because he is devoted to bringing flowers from the canopy of the forest to Shiva every day. Like he does puja. And Shiva is the mirror, the reflection of your own divinity. So there's a devotion to intrinsic divinity. And that's how Vyagrapada earns his tiger paw, so that he can keep making offerings in and of the forest. He climbs to the tops of the trees, and then he brings the most beautiful flowers down to earth. And that effort and that devotion earns him tiger paws so that he can do it like more safely with more agility. Does that make sense? So he's giving offerings of the heart in the world. He's not trying to get out to heaven. That's tiger paws in our story. That's all of us. We are in and of the world, just trying to figure out how to most skillfully and adeptly and skillfully and with great agility, like offer what we have to offer, our own gifts. Okay, take a comfortable seat. And it has to come from the depth of your heart. the heartfelt offering. And it's not, there's no, okay, we'll move. I'll shut up. Take as comfortable a seat as humanly possible. Look for the breath that is always present, flowing in you, as you, through you, from you, all around you, and between us. Offer the light of awareness to the breath, and in turn notice how naturally the breath deepens and expands. The breath is a gift. It's the gift of life that is offered to us unconditionally. There is no conditions. It's an unconditional gift. And this is the time we take to create for ourselves and each other the conditions in order to offer ourselves more unconditionally to life, to the gift of life, to the breath. And in turn, the breath guides us deeper and deeper into the depths of the realm of the heart, wherein all of our gifts and virtues reside, longing to be known, discovered, and offered. The voice of the heart and the depth of the heart is never further than your own breath. The inhale takes you in to this aspect of yourself, and the exhale carries this aspect from inside back out into the world. The body itself, a threshold for this exchange. The body itself, a threshold that allows love to flow. And this is the time we take to align ourselves and stretch ourselves through aligned engagement so that this energy of life and love, vitality, can flow, may flow more deeply, more fully, more freely in us, as us, through us, from us, and all between us. Let's bring our hands together before the heart in Anjali Mudra. This is a gesture of self-reverence, sincere self-reverence and self-love, a recognition, a remembering of the depth of the heart, the voice of the true teacher, the source of love within us. And it's a gesture that consciously and very courageously places this aspect of ourselves before us as our guide. Let's set the tone for our practice today by sharing the voices of our hearts and the sound of an Om. Deep breath in. Om. Bow to your heart. And keeping that connection inward, unwavering, release the hands. Blink open the eyes. And let's come on to all fours to start in a tabletop position. I really think that the Bluetooth is such a metaphor for just the humanness of like connection, staying connected, losing connection, reconnecting, at least for me. Bluetooth is a metaphor for my capacity to connect and stay connected. Dissociation, connection, dissociation. Anyway, begin by linking breath and movement in the ways that naturally feel good to you. Feel yourself, see yourself, love yourself. Can round the back, arch the back, and let either or both sides of the breath. I don't really, it doesn't have to be so exhale, round, inhale, arch, unless you like it that way. But just let the breath actually slightly precede your actions, your movements. So it goes breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. The breath takes you into the heart informs the mind, the thought, the choice The choice informs the actions. So we're dialing into the breath to tune into the heart so that the heart can be reflected and revealed more clearly in thought and action. Come more into a neutral spine position. Bring your hands to the top corners of your mat. These are the tiger paws. These are the agents of the heart in and of the world. And as you inhale, lengthen from hips to armpits. So think armpits towards your ears, towards your ears, which here, and hips towards your heels. Conjure your inner dachshund. You can walk your knees back a little bit more, and with toes tucked under as the armpits lift, send your hips towards your heels for puppy pose. Breathe into the back and sides of the waist. And as you exhale, soften between the shoulder blades, and that'll give you more tiger skin in the back of the neck and shoulders. That soft skin there. Inhale towards table. You can walk your knees in a little bit, and as you exhale, Kristen, you might need a folded blanket or bolster for this. We just don't want to land on the belly. So you can fold up your blanket and have it like right underneath your, where are you? Your hips. I'm like looking for you there, looking for you here. Now you're in the middle. Lower your thighs and your hip bones to the earth. Everyone can kind of keep their belly lifting. Claw your fingertips towards your hips. Slide the palate back. Exhale, take it back to puppy. Slow inhalation, come through table and lower your thighs and hips, pubic bone to the floor. Keep the shoulders lifting up and back. Big breath in to open the chest, the lungs, the front of the heart. Breathe into the spaces between the breaks. And as you exhale, take it back to puppy. And one more time, pendiculating the way cats and dogs wake up from their naps. Inhale through table. Exhale through baby cobra, bypassing chaturanga to protect the shoulders. Exhale to puppy. Deeper breath in, longer breath out. We'll meet in downward facing dog. I see you, Sandra. Yes, hips and core will not be left behind. They are the foundation to accessing the depth of the heart. We must open the hips and access the core in order to support a depth, fullness, openness to the heart. It needs that foundation. Can pedal the feet from side to side at your own pace, stretching through the back of one leg, the sole of the opposite foot. This should be interesting. I'm covered in jojoba oil from the soles of my feet to my neck, and so now I'm slipping. Should have thought that through. Let's go right leg through to lunge. Nice, stealthy, y'all. Could you hear that? No. Let's do it again, downward dog. Big breath in as you exhale, left foot through to lunge. Going in for the kill. Nice. Downward dog. So that we're working on that stealthy step through to lunge. Big breath in, float the right leg to the sky, lift the left heel, exhale, quietly through to lunge. Inhale, reach up. Interlace your hands behind your head, point your elbows forward, lift the armpits up and in, and feel the shoulder blades come together. And as the shoulder blades come together, pull the feet towards each other, lift the back knee and thigh to the sky, and let the top of the front thigh descend. Hug the shoulder blades together and press your head back And feel how the bottom tips of the shoulder blades start to lift in to the back bottom of your heart. And as the bottom tips of the shoulder blades lift the back bottom of the heart forward and up, press your head back, the front of the chest, the lungs, the heart, soften and open. Belly breathing. Exhale through to lunge, downward dog. Breathe and notice any newfound space. As you inhale, float the left leg up. Exhale, step it through to lunge. And bring both hands to the front thigh. Engage the legs by pulling the feet towards each other. And as you press the back knee and thigh to the sky, feel the back leg get straighter and stronger. That's key for where we're going. And the top of the front thigh descends. Reach the arms forward. Lift the armpits up. And suck the arm bones back in the sockets. Again, here with the arms straight and strong, feel the upper back engage. Keep the shoulder blades together and bring the biceps towards the ears. Try not to let the shoulder blades come apart. Bend the front leg deeper. Slide the ears back. And now biceps back. Exhale, plant the hands. Downward dog. Inhale to table. Exhale, bend your elbows out to the sides. To the sides. Press the inner edges of the hands down. Feel the shoulder blades come together more deeply. And with the shoulder blades together, push the arms straight without letting the shoulder blades come apart. Keep that. Send the hips back. Toes tuck. Come back into downward dog. Keep the connection to the upper back. As you inhale, float the right leg to the sky. Exhale, stealthy step through to lunge. Back heel to the ground. Inhale for warrior two. Pull the feet towards each other. And as you reach back through the left fingertips, let the top of the right thigh descend. Gaze softly past the right fingertips. And again, as you pull the feet towards each other, reach back through the left arm. And let the top of the right thigh descend. Push the front leg straight, hands to the hips. Parallel the feet. Turn the left knee and toes towards the back of your mat. And bend the left knee over the ankle. And then extend through the arms. Draw the shoulder blades together and reach back through the right arm. As the right shoulder blade slides towards the spine, reach the right fingertips past the right foot. And then as the left shoulder blade slides towards the palm, look past your left fingertips and let the left thigh descend, 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 belly breathing. Inhale, push the left leg straight, parallel the feet. Either take your strap or interlace your hands behind your back. Draw the shoulders up, back, and together. And as you hug the feet towards each other, reach the arms back and up and back. As you inhale, hug the feet towards each other. Feel the legs engage. And as you exhale, slide the ribs back, the head back, the arms back. Exhale, fold between the legs. Let the head be heavy. And let the arms get heavy overhead. Breathing. The arms be like rays of light that extend, that emanate from your heart. And offer it towards the earth, to the lap of the earth from the heart. Exhale, fingertips to the floor, get long through the spine. Turn the right knee and toes through lunge and take it back to downward dog. And breathe and feel. And as you inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it through to lunge. Pivot the feet to the right, wide-legged forward fold. Parallel your feet, and again, fold between the legs. Take the strap or interlace your hands. For another shoulder stretch, number 2. Keep a softness through the elbows, so the elbows don't lock, which would in turn affect the flow from heart to fingers, and hands to heart. Softness through the elbows, and as you hug the shoulder blades together, try to pull your hands apart. Good, hands to the floor. Inhale, get long through the spine. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands to your hips and hug the feet towards each other, shoulder blades together, as you come all the way up to standing. Let's turn the right knee and toes towards the back of the mat. Stretch your arms out. Big breath in, pull the feet towards each other, the shoulder blades together, and as you exhale, bring your right fingertips to the floor or a block, inside or outside your front foot. Triangle pose, 3, 4, maybe 5 of the deepest, fullest breaths you've had yet today. Notice what you feel, how it feels, where you feel it. And allow your awareness to deepen into this aspect or area of the self, physical, mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual, any 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or combination, any combination thereof. On an inhalation, reach up and back through the left arm all the way to standing. Turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out. Big breath in, draw the shoulder blades together, plug into the back of the heart, pull the feet towards each other, keep the legs strong, and maintaining the connection to the back of the heart, bring fingertips to the floor or block. If the floor is like too far away, then and you reach out with your fingertips, you're taking the arm out of the socket, you're unplugging. You hear the Bluetooth disconnect from the heart. Then use a block to draw the arm bone into the socket, to slide the left shoulder blade to the right shoulder blade, keep the connection right shoulder blade to the left shoulder blade, and then send out sonic waves from your heart in all directions. Bluetooth mimicry. Inhale to rise up through center. Parallel the feet one more time with the strap or hands interlaced. Fold down the middle. Let the head be heavy, like ripe fruit. Draw energy from the earth, up the legs, into the heart. And then let the heart pour into the skull, towards the earth. Keep the elbows soft as the arms pour out overhead. Exhale to release. Inhale, get long through the spine. Turn the left knee and toes through lunge. Take it back to downward dog. And go right leg through to pigeon prep. Take your time. Support yourself on the right side with a block. So right hand to a block, pull the knees towards each other, bend the back leg, and find the back foot for a thigh stretch. Draw the left shoulder up and back. Draw the right shoulder blade to the left shoulder blade. Even if you have to take the block back outside your front leg, wherever you are, draw the shoulder blades together. Find your breath and linking breath and action as you inhale. Pull the knees towards each other, and as you draw into yourself, feel yourself get lighter by virtue of the action of your effort. And then soften in the brow, the neck, the shoulders. Maybe take the right arm to the sky if you feel steady and light. Exhale, plant the hands. Downward dog. Breathe, feel, notice, observe, experience, express from the heart, down through the arms, into the earth, tiger pause, a heartfelt offering from the heart, through your palms into the space that you occupy, into the space that we share. And as you root through the arms, lift up through the hips, press back through the thighs and ground through your heels. And let the breath traverse this threshold, these thresholds from heart to heart. Left side through to pigeon prep. Pull the knees towards each other. Give yourself the support you need on the left side with the block, and then bending the back leg with your right hand. Find your right foot. Like, The interesting thing is, and not to project this, but just food for thought, that as like yoga practitioners, and I look around the room and I see a lot of long-time yoga practitioners, like the loving part is not actually that hard. It's not easy, we're human, but like loving someone isn't hard. It's the intimacy, it's the act of engaging and staying engaged, the act of connecting and staying connected. That's the hard part. I was saying that to a friend recently who's newly in love, talking about the I love you when that comes. Like, you don't not love them, who cares? It's easy to say I love you. The hard part is being in love. Gently release. Downward dog. And why is that? The fear of breaking. Breathe. Let the breath move through you and from you more freely. Right leg through to pigeon prep. Whew. Hug the palms together into the block. And as you press the palms into the block, feel the arms, the biceps engage. Lift the back knee to the sky and take it back to forearm plank. Breathe. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. Breathe. Take the breath in, take it to heart, soften between the shoulder blades, and offer it from inside out, heartfelt, as you stay steady. Walk your feet forward. You can take your feet wider apart or closer together. Can lift the heels up. You can bend your knees, but shift your weight into your forearms. Push your forearms down and float the armpits towards the ears. The head dangles. Press the upper back towards the thighs and the thighs back. We'll walk it all the way back to forearm table. Soften between the shoulder blades, soften between the brow. Hands replace the elbows. And we'll take it back to downward facing dog. Left leg through to pigeon prep. As you come into this pigeon, folding over the front leg, for folks at home, take a moment to see if you have your massage balls and or 2 blocks, and also to consider a wall space for inverting, a clear, safe wall for inversions, for going upside down. Hug the palms into the blocks. Float the armpits towards the ears. Soften between the shoulder blades, and then lift the back knee and thigh to the sky. Left foot meets the right foot. Hug the block. Feel the biceps engage. Soften between the shoulder blades. 3, 4, maybe 5 of the deepest, fullest breaths. Let it be slow. Slow yourself down and feel a deeper connection to your deepest power, to the source of supreme love in the depth of your being. Breathe into the center, and from the center, pour the breath out, heartfelt. Stay steady. Walk the feet forward. Can bend the legs, take the feet wider. It might give you another 1/2 inch forward. And then press your heart towards your thighs. Armpits are moving towards the block. Upper back is moving towards the thighs. Thighs are pressing back. Bottom ribs towards the spine. Walk it back. Forearm plank. Squeeze the block. Find the breath. Lower the knees. Sit back on your heels. I just want to mention these actions. So the side body long is a way to lift the rib cage away from the hips and to bring the rib cage more in alignment over the hips. A lot of times the ribs are way forward of the hips or kind of behind the hips. And we want to stack the rib cage over the hips and maximize this space between the hips and the bottom of the rib cage, like the lungs of the side body, okay? So that we can really get the breath deeper into this area. You should feel this part, the back of the waist, the sides of the waist. We want to start to really be able to find and feel and access and embody the breath in this area. That took me like a decade at least, personally. And it's like the breath that we're born with. If you ever watch babies or toddlers breathe, you can see the breath in this area quite naturally. It's our natural breath. And then we live in the Tillai forest. We are of the forest, like tiger paws. It's fucking toxic. The air we breathe is toxic. And so we get heartbroken and diminished, and it cuts off the depth of our breath. So the physical practice is a strategy for remembering our wholeness so that we can breathe more deeply and fully. So just just the kind of tip to be feeling for and looking for this area of the breath. And we want to really maximize that space. And then as the rib cage lifts up, we want the bottom ribs in front to move towards the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, and the bottom tips of the shoulder blades to move towards the bottom ribs. Can you feel that yet? You can come off your feet if it's torture. Sorry. I've been doing that for a long time. So if I were to just hang out, this is my sort of natural ribs forward of the hips. Again, some people are the opposite. So you just kind of dial into center and then lift the rib cage up and think bottom ribs towards the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. It's subtle. And then bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards the ribs. And feel how that creates a platform almost for the heart. It creates a foundation of connection and support for the heart to be. And when we create a foundation of support for the heart to be, then maybe the heart can more freely be the agent that inspires thought and action. Because otherwise, you know what does? Anyone? This leads the way. You ever try to think yourself out of intimacy, love, all that heartbreak? Yeah, this. So you gotta even interlace your hands here and let the head rest back. Soften the brow. Toes can be tucked. Pad your knees as needed. I want to eliminate any distractions or discomforts as much as possible, physical. And then as you press your head into your hands, let the armpits come back. Feel the shoulder blades come together, especially the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. Big, huge belly breath in. Lift the rib cage up as the belly expands. It'll do so naturally. And as you exhale, slide the bottom ribs back. Feel the head come forward. Keep the shoulder blades together as the ribs slide back. And as the ribs slide back, shoulder blades together, press your head back. And take a deep breath in and a longer breath out. You can sit back on your heels. So that's kind of dialing into center. And no matter the form or the shape of the pose or the forms or shapes we take in life, we're always seeking to connect, to reconnect, to sustain connection to the fullness here and the support here so that the heart has a, whatever you want to call it, a realm that's supported. Let's come back into downward dog. We're looking for that in every pose on and off the mat, really, truly. We'll meet in downward dog. Lower the knees to the earth. Bend your elbows to the sides. Feel the shoulder blades come together. As the shoulder blades come together, slide the ribs back. Slide the head back. Think Bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards the bottom ribs in front. Bottom ribs in front towards the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. And then squeeze the arms straight. Change nothing. Take it back to downward dog. Walk your feet to the middle of your mat. Walk your hands to the middle of your mat. Bow to your heart. And have fingertips to the floor or blocks, or hold opposite elbows. Again, legs straight but not locked or bent. Give yourself the support you need. Know what support you need to stay connected to yourself. Interlace your hands behind your head. Draw the armpits in. Feel the shoulder blades engage. Draw the ribs back, shoulder blades together. And now in order to come up to standing, we're going to press the head back and let the heart lead all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up at the top. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay. This is my first time doing this, I think, since COVID. We're going to find a place at the wall. Find a place at the wall. This is good for you too. It's up to you. I mean, I don't need my mat. So if you're like not feeling like taking your mat, you don't need it. But I think most of you probably prefer it unless you have tree frog hands and won't slip on the bamboo. We're gonna do L pose. We're gonna start with L pose. And I'll be demonstrative, but then you might see me move off camera because I definitely want to give the pregnant person some hands-on here. Is that okay with? There you are. You're still blending in. She's not ready to pop, so she's hard to find. Okay. So we're going to come onto all fours in a tabletop position with the soles of the feet at the wall. Soles of the feet at the wall. I'm going out on the ledge here with this thing. Don't tell the other teachers, okay? Because I've absolutely said you can't do this to the other teachers, so shh. Okay, so hands a little bit forward of the shoulders and a tiny bit wider than your shoulders, and do tiger paws, which means claw your fingertips into the earth and claw them so much that you feel a little opening in the palm of the hand. The arch of the hand lifts up. Shoulders in line with the base of the neck, and then soften between the shoulder blades to plug in to the back bottom of your heart. We really want the bottom tips of the shoulder blades to connect, and as best as our intrinsic Bluetooth will let us stay connected, right there. With the toes tucked under, press back to downward dog. Oh, Ashley's here. So Ashley, I'll let you know how this goes. I think it's a bad idea. I'm looking for, there's a frame somewhere in there. I'm going to go for the frame. And then other foot, I'm not doing it. Other foot hip height. There's a light box behind me. It's just made out of plexiglass. I don't want to go through it. Other foot hip height. L pose. You're standing in and on and from the heart. There you go. Feel okay here? Press the inner edges of the hands down. Claw your tiger paws down and feel the hips lift up. Belly breathing. Push through your legs, push through your hands. Breathe in and on and from the heart. Stand in and on and from the heart. And then when you're ready, lower one foot down. Gotcha. And then the other foot. And either rest in child's pose, down dog, or a forward fold. And look for the breath. Maybe feel the breath in the back and sides of the waist. The rhythmic beating of your heart. It is always present, and yet so often and easily overlooked. This is the practice of engaging the heart, bringing ourselves, our gifts, our deepest desires, our best intentions, our highest aspirations to the world as an offering, a heartfelt offering. Can sit back on your heels. Okay, there's going to be a variety of offerings here, and you get to like choose what's appropriate for you. I feel like I might have to turn the camera a little bit, but I feel like I can maybe sneak right in here if I get close to the stage. Okay, so one option is to do what we just did, and this time go 5 to 10 breaths as best you can. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. Take the breath in, take it to heart, and then push it from the heart out in all directions, heartfelt. And this is just really how we, well, whatever. Okay, so we're embodying a connection to the heart. You can lift the heels of your hands up. Lift the heels of your hands up so you're on ridge tops and come into L pose. Okay, 5 to 10 breaths. If it's easy, you might go one-armed. Okay. 5 to 10 breaths. Palms on the ground. Heels of the hands lifting is going to reverse the flow of energy. So what tends to happen, like anyone get it in their wrists? It's because there's more energy pouring out than there is drawing in. And when you lift the heels of the hands up, you start to balance the energy drawing into the heart that keeps you plugged in with the energy that's pushing out. Okay, so like the heels of the hands, like when the Bluetooth stays connected, it's because the heels of the hands are lifting. And every time the energy goes into the heels of the hands, we get that wrist pain. That's a ba-da-doop disconnect. Okay? So, and you can even play with it like, and the one-armed is like the max. But you could even play like the heel of one hand lifting. Just to give yourself that asymmetry. Because folks, anyone ever been in love? Yes. And so love is powerful. And power dynamics are such that like in life, in love, the conditions are never static. It's never going to be perfectly balanced all the time. There's always going to be like a little bit of, either a lot of, toxic, unbalanced power dynamics. Okay, but even in like the healthiest, the best of situations, there's that like give and take, that push and pull. It's kind of going like this all the time. All the time. And not just like in romantic intimacy love relationships, in all relationships, which hopefully the more we practice our yoga, all of our relationships are rooted in love. Like you love your boss, hopefully. Hopefully. But like there's a power dynamic, right? So you gotta like figure out how to navigate those asymmetries and bring balance to intrinsic imbalance. That makes sense? So play with it. Maybe the heel of one hand lifting and feel how that fucks shit up. And then you recalibrate to your heart. And the more you stay connected to the source of love in yourself, the less other people's stuff throws you off. Okay? So, soapbox moment. Tabletop position, tiger pause. And Kristen, if you're not feeling like you can do the L pose without me there, you can also do table or down dog and just play with one heel of the hand lifting and like 5 breaths on each side. Maybe lift the heel of one hand up, maybe lift the heels of both hands up, and then take it back to downward dog. Lift the sole of one foot up the wall, and then the other. Do you want me to hold your hips?
Do you think it could? I think I'm not like far enough out, I think.
Yeah, you can give yourself more
Right?
space.
Like I'm
Yeah.
taller than I think I am.
Yeah, like just find your a downward dog. That feels good. And then I'm going to hold your hips. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, I got you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got it. I got you, I promise. You don't have to come up, though, if you don't want. How's it feel? Push the one straight. Yes. And then whenever you're ready to come down, you just bring one foot down. And rest. It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You're very long. Yeah, total dachshund. Dachshunds are my favorite. Questions? How'd it go? Piece of cake? Right, like that's the hard part. Like the connecting to the heart, it's not, like it's easy to forget, but it's not hard to remember. But then the staying connected to the heart when the shit gets harder, that's the hard part. That's the intimacy. It's the staying engaged when it gets hard. Because it's easier to disconnect. Thank you, Bluetooth. Heard you loud and clear. But then the practice, the path of the engaged heart is remembering to reconnect. And the more we remember to reconnect, then maybe the more we sustain connection. And I think that is courageous. That is tiger paws. So Vyagrapada lives in the Tilai forest. It's the most toxic place. The Tilai trees, like everything about the trees is toxic. It's like the bark, the leaves, the fumes make your eyes water. It's like cutting onions. And yet he has the ability to climb the toxic Tilai trees all the way to the top to get the most beautiful, unsullied flowers, untouched even by bees, and bring them back down to the forest floor to make an offering to the divine so that he can see himself. It's so beautiful, really. I just love the meaning in the stories and how the stories remind us how to live more meaningfully. Yeah, actually, I didn't have the courage to use the plexiglass. I think sheetrock is better than plexi. And maybe that's a metaphor for who we choose to be in relationship with. Let's meet, and I'm just trying to think if I want to do one more thing at the wall. We did 2 rounds. Let's do one more. Okay. And I'll give options again. So L pose, or even, if your wrists are sore, like Lindsay's doing there, you can come on your forearms with your feet at the wall. You can come onto your forearms. I'm going to give a bunch of options. Block between the palms or hands interlaced. And you just want to, like, from where your hands would be for L pose, lower the elbows and come this way. Okay, and you can come into L pose like so. And if this will probably feel much easier for most, not all. You might play with one leg away from the wall at a time. And then as we've been doing for the last week, and Kristen, this one isn't for you, you can play with your tiger pounces. So turn to face the wall. Big breath in. Bend the legs deep. Sorry about this view. And as you exhale, pounce. Go hips to wall. And then when you land, like good cats, you land on your feet, knees bent. Okay? You can do like 3, 4, or 5. You might surprise yourself and get your tush all the way to the wall. The key is to land on your feet with your knees bent. I don't care if you get to the wall or not, but tiger pounce. Big breath in, bend the knees deep. Exhale, pounce. Land on your feet, knees bent. Okay? Like jumping dogs, what we're calling them, tiger pounces this year. And if your tush gets to the wall, you can extend your legs up if you want. Okay, so 5 more breaths. L pose on your hands, your ridge tops or your forearms. Maybe one leg away from the wall. First, most important thing and point is to breathe, to be breathed, and to make of yourself, your choices, your forms, your shapes, an offering to the breath. Nice, Eric. Awesome. Take the breath in, take it to heart, and let it pour out of you, heartfelt, in all directions. The more intimacy we have with our breath, the more intimacy we have with ourselves, the more capable we are at standing in and on and from the heart. Like really, the intimacy, like the physical practice is an offering to the breath. It's a strategy for creating more intimacy with breath, more intimacy with life, more intimacy with your life, self-intimacy. And the more you have that with yourself, the more you can bring it to those around you. So in other words, love isn't the hard part. It's the intimacy, the connection, the union, the yoga. I love you all so much. Okay. You can come back to center. Take your time. Bring yourselves back to center. If you're at home and you want to move a little bit away from the wall, have a sip of water. Back to your spots. Are you happy here? You want to stay here? Okay, stay here. They want to stay here. You can stay at the wall. I take requests. Let's come on into downward dog. We'll meet back in downward dog. Breath to heart, heart to mind, mind to body. Step the right leg through to lunge. Bring your fingertips to the floor or preferably blocks way out in front of you and take a big step forward and up. Left leg hip height. Have your blocks on their lowest or second lowest height and walk them out as much as you need so that your arms can be straight and the bottom leg straight. So you might have to walk them out quite a bit depending on hamstring flexibility. Standing leg straight, arms straight, and then a softening between the shoulder blades so that you can feel the shoulder blades come together on the upper back. And as you soften between the shoulder blades and brow, the bottom ribs in front, draw them in without letting the shoulder blades come apart. And we're not pulling in the belly, we're just drawing in the bottom ribs. The upper back softens in, the bottom ribs draw in, and full belly breaths into the front, the back, the sides of the waist. Flex your back foot, hug the back foot strong to the midline, and rather than lifting the back foot rather than pressing the back foot or lifting the back foot to the sky, from your belly, press the back thigh and knee up to the sky. Ooh, exhale, step it back to lunge, downward dog. Did that make sense? Y'all, that is like deep core work. Left foot through to lunge. Walk your hands out to your blocks, take a big step forward and up. Left knee and toes point straight ahead. Want to make sure the left kneecap is drawing up, not pressing back. Flex the back foot. Walk your hands out as much as you need so that your left leg can be straight and your arms can be straight. And then you can actually soften between the shoulder blades. That might require walking your hands out or in a little bit more. And by out or in, I mean forward or back. Shoulder blades together, brow soft. And as the shoulder blades retract, they stay connected behind the heart. The bottom ribs draw towards the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades draw together, belly breaths. And as you turn the back foot in, hug the back shin to the midline. From the belly, press the back knee up. From the belly, lift the back thigh up. Press the hands down and forward. Draw the shoulder blades together. Draw the ribs in. Lift the back thigh. Exhale through lunge. Downward dog. Right leg through to lunge. Walk your hands out in front of you to the blocks. Big step forward and up. This time take the blocks higher. Tack the right hip back, flex the back foot. Same action, softness between the shoulder blades, but that's usually going to make the rib cage drop. Draw the bottom ribs in front up as the upper back softens in. That's key. And as you draw the bottom ribs up, hug the back leg in. Reach the right arm overhead, bicep by the ears. Hug the right arm and left leg to the midline. Soften the brow. Notice if the head is dropping, slide the head back, look forward out in front of you. And draw the bottom ribs in and the right hip back and hug the left leg in. Exhale, step back through lunge to downward dog. Left side through to lunge. Big step forward and up, supported warrior 3. And in a lot of ways, I feel like the supported warrior 3 is almost harder than warrior 3. Like when you go for the full pose, the bigger muscle groups will just take over and dominate. There's like a self-reliance. But when you allow yourself to receive the support of blocks, when you allow yourself to receive support, it's going to let you find and feel into more of your weakness, to strengthen the deeper, maybe weaker parts of yourself. It requires support. Turn the back foot in, hug the back leg strong to the midline. You do that, you maintain that. And then soften between the shoulder blades, soften the brow, the jaw, the throat. And draw the bottom ribs in. The blocks help you draw the ribs in and connect to your center. And as you tack the left hip crease back, extend the left arm overhead, your biceps right next to your left ear. Look forward, the ear slides back, draw the biceps back. Notice if the bottom ribs dropped. Draw the bottom ribs in, flex the back foot, hug the back leg in, and breathe. Exhale through lunge, downward dog. Anyone else find that harder than warrior 3? Yeah. Find it hard to receive support in life? JK, kind of. Inhale to plank. Exhale through chaturanga or chaturanga bypass. Inhale for cobra, cobra dog, up dog if you feel ready. Exhale for downward dog. The second kid made it much easier for me to learn to ask for help. I wish I had known how to do that with the first one, or before that even. Lower the knees down. We're going to come onto our backs. Find your massage balls. In absence of massage balls at home, you can make a heart bench out of 2 blocks, or roll up a blanket to create a little lift for your heart. This is actually really nice. Like if you have a towel or a blanket, just make a very thin, tight roll. And then your shoulder blades come onto the roll, okay? It's a really nice option. Alternative even if you have massage balls. And otherwise, you're going to take the balls, and we're going to actually start right in between the bottom tips of the shoulder blades today. So starting at the bottom of the shoulders, right in between the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. And if you want more pressure there, you can place a block underneath your hips. And I'm actually noticing today that makes it feel like less pressure for me. That's just gonna have to do with each individual. It's not one size fits all. So starting between the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, I'm gonna opt for no block. And if it feels like too much pressure, you might try placing the block and see if that alleviates the pressure. And just notice what you notice and feel what you feel. Perhaps the difference between those variations in you, on you, for you. Breathe into this space, the back, bottom of the heart. The buried stuff, the stuff beneath and before the buried stuff, subconscious, the unconscious. Breathe. Let energy, breath, life move in and through this area. You can reach your arms to the sky and reach the arms out of the sockets and rock or roll from side to side. And then come through center and let the arms plug into the sockets and roll from side to side. You can wrap your arms around yourself like a big bear hug. And roll from side to side. And notice which arm is on top. 3 breaths here. And then switch the cross of your arms, other arm on top. And roll from side to side. And then you can either keep the arms here or towards your feet so that the balls roll up the back. With the arms wrapped around you, rock a little bit, roll from side. Notice what you feel, how it feels, and when you feel it, particularly the differences, any from side to side, lives where. Reach the arms up and switch the cross of your arms again and wriggle from side to side, giving yourself a loving embrace. The arms are the agents of your heart, the extensions of your heart. Wrap them around you. And scoot your hips towards your heels again. And rock from side to side. At this point, you may move your block or add your block as we're getting more to the top. Embrace. Switch the cross of the arms again. If you're on a block, put it to the side, scoot your hips towards your heels, and try to dial the balls all the way up into the very tops of your shoulders so that they're no longer underneath you, but wedged in the space between the base of the neck and the tops of the shoulders. Press the center back of the skull down. Feel both feet on the ground, feet hips distance, parallel, knees hips distance. Stand through the feet to lift your hips up, like bridge pose. Wriggle the shoulder blades in. You can let your palms come to rest anywhere on your midsection.
And as you inhale, feel the middle expand. Hug your thighs to the midline. Press the center back of the skull down. As you exhale, feel the middle soften. Press your feet down and forward. On your next inhale, reach the arms straight up towards the sky. And as you exhale, press your feet down and forward. Big breath in. Press the center back of the skull down, and as you exhale, press your feet down and forward. You can stay right here if you want more, big if. Reach the arms overhead towards the floor. And press the feet down and forward. Breathing. Exhale to lower. Remove the balls. Let the upper back completely soften. And particularly notice the expanded space and capacity for breath because of the new awareness, insight, access to the back body, to the back of the heart, to what is so often overlooked and yet provides so much support. Let's stand through the feet to lift the hips up again and put 1 or 2 blocks underneath your hips at whatever height makes sense for you. You could have 1 block on its lowest height or medium height, or 2 blocks stacked on their lowest height. A supported bridge pose. Bridges are technology of connection. They bring things together. The body, the physical body is a bridge. It's a threshold that draws hearts together into kulas. Kula is a Sanskrit word that means flock or clan, and it means a community of the heart. Community of hearts that are connected. You can keep both feet on the ground or play with drawing the knees over the hips, the feet off the floor. It's completely optional. Keep the knees bent, knees over the hips. Or if you want, you can extend your legs for Viparita Karani, which is translated as inverted lake pose. I don't know why we don't just call it waterfall. I've often wondered. Watch your breath with reverence and devotion and a gesture of intimacy. Listen and look so closely at your breath. Such a gift, so powerful and undemanding. Three more of the deepest, fullest breaths that require the least amount of effort. Do your best not to impose yourself upon the breath, but to just receive the breath more deeply and more fully. Let it pour into you, through you, and from you. And then bending the legs, feet to the earth if not already. Take a moment to feel both feet on the ground in the forest, a place of beauty and toxicity, of love and drama, of meaning and value. And as you root through your legs, press your feet into the earth, lift through the hips one more time, remove the block, and then surrender to the lap of the earth. Scan your body with your awareness. See if there's any final poses, movements, or adjustments that you need or want to make in order to prepare yourself to relax as deeply and as fully as possible. I'm going to do my best for the next 2 to 3 minutes to be silent. And allow yourself to soften into silence, into stillness. And listen to your breath, perhaps even the rhythmic beating of the heart. Listening is a gesture of love and an act of intimacy. Listen to your breath. Listen to your heart. Tiger pause is the voice of the heart. Notice where you are and how you are. Invite a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Let the spirit that you are begin to gently awaken the body that you have in whatever ways feel good. Wiggling the toes, the fingers stretching through your arms and your legs. And when you're ready, bend your legs and feel both feet on the ground. And take a moment to call yourself down to earth and back to reality. A moment to visualize the ways in which you stretch your practice, the practice of engaging the heart to the world around you. Bringing more heartfelt love and action to those around you. Imagine that. And when you're ready, you can roll to one side. Press through your arms to find your way into a comfortable seated posture. The eyes closed and the hands folded before the heart in Anjali Mudra. And a gesture, first and foremost, of self-reverence, a gesture that acknowledges and honors, that remembers and recognizes the voice of the true teacher, the divinity that is always present, intrinsically peaceful, utterly powerful, never further than your own heart, which is never further than your own breath. So this is a gesture of self-love, self-reverence, self-intimacy. And as such, it becomes a gesture of courageous self-offering. In the spirit of tiger paws, we will seal in our time together by invoking blessings for ourselves and each other, offering the voices of our hearts from inside out into the world, heartfelt, and the sound of an Om. Deep breath in. As you bow to your heart with all my heart, I bow to each and every one of you. Love you all so much. Thank you for your practice. And my feelings today. Thanks for being together. Love you all. I did want to mention, I'm going to talk to Abby today. Hopefully, Abby's our Monday night teacher and is also a DJ. She does in person only at the studio. Monday night work exchange person, friend, loved one for a long time, Corey. Many of you probably know Corey, some of you may not. Had an apartment fire. They lost everything. We posted the GoFundMe last week, and if you are able to contribute anything, the more we contribute a little bit together, it totally adds up. And I'm thinking I'm going to ask Abby if maybe we could do an impromptu love fest next Sunday afternoon and have some like fun DJ'd love music and a practice to raise money. This is like just in my mind. I'm saying it out loud, hoping that we can manifest it. So if you are around next Sunday afternoon, maybe just pencil it in and stay tuned. I'm hoping we can make something happen for Corey. She's been with us a long time and it's devastating. If you're not around and you can give something, anything, look for the GoFundMe via our Instagram. Oopsies. And hopefully I'll see you all real soon. Bye.